Well, let's talk for a moment. Let's switch gears before we get in trouble here. Let's talk about your course in the Pure program. Why don't you introduce people to your course and what will they get if they enroll and complete your course?
Great. So there were two courses that I covered. The first one was Mastering Agile Retrospectives. This was one that's really close to my heart, and I'm a firm believer if you're coming from a traditional project management background and you want to sort of dip your toe in the waters of Agile, the number one practice that you should embed is regular retrospectives.
Right.
I think it's the quickest way to see a return on your investment for that Agile ways of working. And the thing I really like is, especially for sort of those traditional project managers, we've always done lessons learned, but we've sort of always done that at the end when it's over and we all just want to get out of there now.
Yep.
I think retrospectives make a lot more sense because now we're going to do them at regular intervals in the project and we can harness the value of that learning and that experience as we're doing the work, which is, you sort of can't believe we didn't get that from day one in some ways, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's so true that lessons learned, it's often too late. There could have been something brought up that'd be an easy fix or make an adjustment, and instead you suffered through it because you just didn't have that opportunity, baked into the approach. So retrospectives, even if you're not in an agile environment, I think that retrospectives, periodically, if you're still in predictive, the end of a phase or, at the end of a month, even in a predictive, what's working or what's not, or what can we do more of?
Yeah, we all know projects always go perfectly to plan. So that's where retrospectives can come in, just to make sure you're still on track.
Right.
But you're right, and lessons learned as well. The thing that always sort of frustrated me when I was that traditional project manager role was we did that session and then we'd either create a page on Confluence or we'd write it into a PDF, and it would just get filed away. We'd never look at it again. And
right.
I'm sort of
so why bother?
Why are we doing this if that's the case?
Yeah, just a waste of time.
Yeah, whereas retrospectives, not only do you talk about what's going well, what's not going well, what you could change, you design actions, experiments, next steps that you're going to predict and hope will make a valuable impact in your project as it's going on, which is, again, another reason I think they make a lot more sense.
Yeah, it seems, I think so much of project management is logical, but sometimes that logic is, or that common sense is overlooked, that we've seen forever and ever in predictive, that especially as we've gotten away from this command and control mentality where we want feedback and participation in those decisions, even in predictive or primarily in predictive, that there has to be some opportunity to listen to your team and to make adjustments, or if the team members have an opportunity to talk to each other and make adjustments and to be real world or to be down to earth about it. So it's a great course. How many PDUs is it? Refresh my memory.
Oh, good question. I think it's just around the 3 mark because it's about a 3 hour long course.
I started to say 3.5, something like that. So it's a great course. It's very practical. You can take the knowledge from it and apply it today in your project. And then introduce your second course as well.
So the second course was actually a real pleasure. And I think this was actually a brainchild of you, if I remember right, because we got through the course and you said, would you like to do another one?
Yeah.
And I sort of said, well, what have you got in mind? And you proposed something around lean and lean delivery. And I thought, well, this is great. I haven't looked at lean for a while. And I'm really, really glad that I signed on to do lean delivery in action, because going back to the well of lean, and I talk about this in the course site, but lean isn't just a story of project management methodologies or delivery methods. It's really a human story in a lot of ways, because lean itself has evolved at this point over hundreds and hundreds of years. You can trace it all the way back to the Venetian Navy and maybe even further back than that. And that was, again, a question I sort of struggled with in the course. Where do I start this history lesson from? Because it's so hard to pin down where these really emerged. And again, there's a lot of history and theory around what happens in lean. But what I try to do through this course is arm you with a lot of practical tools, approaches, strategies, and experimentations that you can run within your teams and your projects. And try and introduce a new sort of lean-powered toolkit that you can bolt onto your existing project management skills. Yeah. There'll be bits in there that you can use straight away. There'll be bits that might not fit your projects right now, but I hope it serves as a nice sort of catalogue of this is what's available to you as you're projects evolve and as you move from thing to thing?
Yeah, I think Lean is such a fascinating set of tools that my favorite part of Lean is the idea that there's always a bottleneck, that it may be, a constraint that is tiny, but you keep refining and refining and refining. There's always something you can improve upon. There's always some goal setting that you can do in your projects. And then what you learn in this project, you can apply. You can immediately take that. You don't have to start from scratch. You can apply in your next one. So Lean is, even if you're not using the Lean methodology, there are so many nuggets in there that you can apply in your agile approach, your predictive approach, or even just your day-to-day work. That I think it's really valuable, that there are things you can take and apply today with Lean.
Yeah, and I say this quite a lot, but Lean's a bit of a grandfather on the agile side of the aisle, because if you look hard enough, you can sort of see the roots of where other agile things like Kanban, like elements of Scrum, like elements of DevOps come from. Like automation in DevOps, you can trace very easily back to self-regulating machines, which came from the Toyota production system, which traces its roots back to Lean.
Yeah,
and it was really nice to go back to that source and the well, and something that sort of dawned on us related to what you've just said. I sort of got the impression as I was going through, if you understand Lean really well and you've got a bit of a grasp on theory of constraints, that might be all you need to be a really effective change and project professional.
Oh, I agree. So I often tell people there's a book called The Goal, which is which is an excellent read if you're a project manager. We'll put a link in the description to this video. But it's a nice narrative, it's a nice story, but it's that idea of improving. There's always an opportunity to improve. And that if you're new to project management, you just want to see kind of the big picture, or what the heck is project management, and ease into it. It's such a great book to begin with. And you can get deeper and deeper into it. That you can read it for the narrative, or you can really think about how it would apply where you work or where you would like to work.
Yeah, the thing I like about The Goal is it really contextualizes a lot of what you do as a project manager. It's not me teaching you how value stream mapping works anymore. You sort of, through the lens of that narrative, you can see how this applies in a really real way, even though it is slightly fictional.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of walking through and looking over someone's shoulder as it's in motion. So that's a great book. So Dave's 2 courses, I think that you should enroll in the Pure program. The entire program, you get 60 PDUs. 2 of those courses are for Dave, and you'll notice, like Dave described, these are smaller chunked courses that you can just chip away at. You don't have to take the whole program in 1 week. You've got a year to complete it. And so as you go through it, at the end of each program, you can claim your PDUs if you're a PMP or a CAPM or ACP. So you get those as you go. So we worked a little agile into our approach, right, Dave? That you get some intermittent value. You don't have to wait till the very end.